I was about to start reviewing these materials for an upcoming bathroom renovation, and I realized this was a perfect opportunity to show you guys how to do it if you're planning on DIYing a bathroom or really any room in your house, because there is definitely an order in which you should pick your materials so that everything comes together in a really cohesive, intentional way at the end, and it doesn't look like things were just pulled out of a hat. So you always want to start with the material that's either the most expensive or the hardest to find. And in our case, that was the tile for this project. We wanted to go with something that was really versatile, classic and timeless, which is actually pretty hard to find in a tile store. When you walk into any tile store, they tend to be like jewelry boxes. They have a lot of really beautiful, colorful stuff that is just screaming for your attention. And it is the thing that people get tripped up on the most because tile is really expensive. It is difficult to install. It's difficult to replace. But online and social media and in the stores, we're being constantly bombarded with these gorgeous, colorful, trendy tiles. And it can be hard to stick to something pretty basic, especially because there aren't as many options. But we did end up finding this 2-inch off-white hex that the client is really happy with. This is going on the floors, and we're pairing it with a basic subway tile along the shower walls. First thing when you are sampling your materials is they have to be laid out in the orientation in which they will be installed. Meaning, this wall tile actually needs to be propped up vertically because it's not going to be installed on the floor, it'll be installed on the wall. The angle at which materials are installed really affects the way light reflects off of them, which in turn affects their color and how they look significantly. So the next major decision we had to make is the countertop material. We're doing a laminate in this situation. For laminate countertops, I would stick with something really light or dark, something close to a black. Stay away from anything too busy, too blotchy. Skip the browns, the grays, and even the beiges. Stick with something white or cream or black. You could maybe go with some sort of a color, like a teal or a green, something in there, but there are not that many options. I wasn't able to find any for this project to even consider, so we're going with something cream. So now that we have our floor samples, we need to compare our countertop samples with the floor because they will be in direct contrast with one another. You'll be able to see them at the same time. So you need to make sure that they coordinate really, really well, or else you're going to end up with a clash and you're going to immediately hate your bathroom. What we're looking for here is a shared undertone, meaning you can tell that the floor compared to the white background, and this is just a used and abused piece of white poster board, and that's really all you need. It's just to prevent any simultaneous contrast, which is the phenomenon where colors make each other look different, basically. It's really crazy. You've probably seen it in like an elementary school science project or something, but the white background just gives you a blank canvas against which you can clearly see what colors and undertones you're dealing with. So in our floor tile, we have sort of a warm yellowish undertone. We want to repeat that in our countertop. So these 6 here were some of the finalists just based on something that was pretty neutral, not too busy, not too gray, not too brown, etc. And now we can compare them with our floor directly to see which one comes out on top. This one is Nuvolato Crema by Aborite. And this one is Layered White Sand by Formica. They both have really subtle patterns and a little bit of variation in sort of off-white tones. But as I hope you can see, I know the camera always messes with color a little bit. But the Nuvolato Crema is just that bit warmer. It really goes better with the floor than the Layered White Sand, even though I love this one and I think it would be great in another application. This guy is the better of the two. So I'm going to retire this one. Now say you were hoping for something more in the world of marble. These two are both really nice. This is Calacatta Cava. This is another Formica white alabaster. These are both great picks, but not for this bathroom because as you can see, particularly the Calacatta Cava up top, it's just too gray. This kind of looks like a swing and a miss, like somebody tried to coordinate things and it just didn't quite work out. So I'm definitely going to retire this guy. And this one's okay. It's not bad. It's pretty close, but I think we can do better. Moving on to more of a quartz look. This is Fresh Mist by Aborite, and this is Paloma Polar by Formica. And both of these work pretty well. Again, either of these would be fine. This is where I'm going to pull in our ceramic sample. So most plumbing fixture brands will come in just their one color. Toto has several colors of ceramic for their toilets and sinks, etc., which is why I love using this brand. Kholer has a few different colors, and there are a few other brands out there that offer different colors in ceramic. Client already had a cotton toilet, and so we are sticking with cotton for the rest of the plumbing fixtures. Since the sink is going to be sitting directly on top of the countertop, you also want to be considering that as you're making decisions. It would have been nicer if the ceramic was a little bit deeper, like more of an off-white, more towards the cream. But these are both, you know, they're pretty nice with the floor, they're okay with the ceramic. So now we're going to bring our third option back. And this one was my favorite from the beginning. And it's really nice to see now that we have everything together that it does work really well with all of our other materials at play. And a lot of this can really come down to just what's available in your area. What can your carpenter get their hands on? So I'm going to keep these four because they all look quite nice with the tile. So really the most important thing to remember when you're choosing all of these materials and making all of these expensive decisions is that nothing can be chosen in isolation. Everything follows something else. So you want to choose the most expensive or the most difficult material to find first and select everything after that, like a domino effect. And that is really the key for choosing any hard finishes throughout your home.